Hey, how's everybody doing tonight? I hope you had a great Labor Day weekend, and I hope you found some time to relax and spend some quality time with your families. I want to get into a little bit about youth baseball player development and also talk a little bit about travel baseball. You know that the Clearing the Bases podcast discusses all things related to the preparation and development of youth baseball players, coaches, and even parents. So I wanted to take some time on my own because typically, on these shows, I have a guest with me to kind of give you my thoughts on what's going on in the travel baseball world with player development. So I want to start out by saying that, youth baseball serves as the foundational stage in the development of young athletes, not only honing their athletic skills, but also instilling essential life values. I mean, we talk about it on the show all the time. We're trying to build good young adults. The development of youth baseball players is multifaceted. It involves technical skill, mental and physical conditioning, cultivation of a positive, growth oriented mindset. The importance of structured development programs alongside support from coaches, parents, and peers cannot be overstated in shaping well-rounded players who excel both on and off the field. So at the very core of youth baseball development is the mastery of fundamental skills. And this is where I have a problem. This begins with teaching young players the basic techniques of hitting, fielding, throwing, base running, and more. There's more to it than that. But these skills form the building blocks upon which more advanced techniques are later developed. So coaches at the youth level play a critical role in ensuring that players learn these skills correctly from the outset, as poor habits formed early can be difficult to correct later. Progression is key in skill development. As players age and mature, they're introduced to more complex aspects of the game, such as situational hitting, advanced fielding techniques, intricacies of pitching. So proper repetition and consistent practice are essential for the young athlete to internalize these skills, making them second nature during game situations. Okay. And that's like a lot of where my problem starts. And that's a lot of what I want to talk to you about tonight. I really don't see at the high school level that all of these basic skills, the rudiments of the game, are being taught. And it's a little frustrating. And I think that we need to start spending more time on the basic skills. And I'm talking about players from whatever they start at nowadays, 5, 6, and, all the way up through the time that they get to high school and even through high school. All of this stuff should be hammered home time and time again. Practice is more important than the games. And I don't know if well, let me put it to you this way. I know there are organizations out there that do that and understand it, but I think, and I'm pretty sure, that the majority don't. Okay. So if we go to, say, USA Baseball and we look at their long-term athletic development plan, okay, for high school age kids, and actually even we'll say modified age kids through high school, okay, they should be practicing 65% of the time and playing 35% of the time in games. And I don't really think that that's what's happening. Okay. I know that just look at it, travel team goes and they play a weekend tournament, 3, 4, 5 games. Okay. There's not enough time during the week to be able to practice enough for those games. So if you practice, let's say 3 times a week, okay, then that means that you should be playing one. I'll even give you 2 games on the weekend. Okay. But the problem is a lot of teams don't even practice, or maybe they'll practice 1 day a week. Some of them, maybe 2. but I would venture to say that a lot of them don't. Okay. And this is a problem. We need to practice more than we play in games. We go to these tournaments that I believe are really nothing more than a vacation. And actually, I just did a show with a husband and wife author, a husband and wife team that authored a book called What is the Goal? And it talks about youth baseball. And they called them tournications. And I love that. Okay. And the reason being that, they joined together the words tournaments and vacation. Okay. Those tournaments are nothing more than a vacation because you're going to these tournaments, you're playing all of these games in a short, look at it this way. Okay. Again, if you play 3, 4, 5 games in a weekend, and this is just one aspect of it. Okay. So you play 3, 4, possibly 5 games in a weekend. How the hell do you have enough pitching to do that? Most of these teams keep their rosters around 15 players, 14 players. I've even heard 12 players. There is no way that you can convince me that you have enough pitching to be able to pitch Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. Okay. So again, you're going there. I don't know for what. I mean, and again, I want to make sure that everybody understands that I am not, okay, painting with a broad brush. I know that there are tournaments out there where high level teams go and they have the players and they can compete, and it's really the way it should be. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the run of the mill average tournament that people go to. And I don't really see what we're trying to accomplish other than, like I had said, the vacation portion of it where, yeah, you want to go, you want to run around you want to run around the hotel, you want to have fun with your friends, and that's great. There's nothing wrong with that. Okay. If that's what you want to do, but understand that this is not helping your player develop. Okay. Most of the teams, I'll even venture to say, again, through my experience, they have maybe 3, 4, I'll even give you 5 players, okay, that have a little bit of talent, have some ability, and they're good little baseball players. But the majority of the team does not. Okay. And once again, I have to clarify that I know that that's not all the teams. There are teams out there that have a lot of talent from top to bottom. I get it. Okay. But I'm talking about the majority of the teams out there. So those players, first of all, the players that do have the talent, okay, they're getting hurt because we're not practicing enough and they're not getting better. That little bit of time that they're spending in those games, they're not getting many repetitions at bat. And again, some of the games even get shortened because of whatever time limits and weather problems. Some of these kids, they get up one time in a game. That is not benefiting anybody. So again, these travel vacations, let's call it, is really like going to amusement park. Instead of going on the merry-go-round or the Ferris wheel, what you're doing is you're going on the field and you're smacking a ball around the field and playing a little bit of baseball, and then you go home. And that's fine if that's what you want to do. But at the same time, you can't talk about development in that situation. That is not the way players develop. Okay. Players develop by having on-field instruction. They do develop in some facilities. I mean, if you're a pitcher and you can work on your hitting inside facilities, those are great places to work on your mechanical stuff and get yourself ready to go. However, it's only a small part of it. So what I'm getting at is if you go and you take hitting lessons or you take pitching lessons, and yes, whoever your instructor is, they're going to make you better mechanically as a hitter and as a pitcher. But okay, there's more to it than that. If you're a hitter, okay, can you bunt? Can you move runners? Okay, are you good at hit and run? Can you perform a push bunt? Can you perform a drag bunt? There are so many more things than just worried about being your mental approach. What is your 2-strike approach? Okay. I talk to players sometimes talking about choking up, getting off the knob, and some of them have no idea what I'm talking about. And then like during practice, yeah, we'll work. They'll get in a game and it goes out the window because they haven't had enough of it drilled into them yet to understand that in a two-strike approach, we want you off the knob a little bit. Those type of things, those are things that you learn on the field. Again, the same thing with pitching. Are you backing up where you should be backing up? Okay. Do you know how to locate your pitches? Or are you just going into a facility somewhere and reaching back and trying to throw the ball through a brick wall? And when the game comes, you can't throw a strike. So all of this stuff that players need to develop, I won't say all of it, but a lot of it has to take place on the field. There is so much stuff that we need to. And again, I'm seeing it as a high school coach. I see it constantly. Guys don't know how to, they don't know how to perform rundowns effectively. They don't know cuts. They don't even know, forget about receiving the cut. Okay. I can't tell you how many balls I see airmailed from the outfield, and the cutoff guy has absolutely no possibility of catching the ball. They don't know this. These are things that you have to do on the field. You have to work on situational play with your fielders. You have to work on base running. Very, very important part of the game that, again, as a high school coach, I'm seeing that that's not being taught. There's just so many parts of the game that we need to help these players work on. So what I would say is, you know, if you're a coach, if you're a youth coach or a travel ball coach, even if you're a high school coach, okay, let's practice more than we play in games. Okay. I know with my high school teams, we practice 6 days a week. That's, you know, and believe me, I would probably go to seventh day, but we're not allowed to. We can only go 6 days in a row. Obviously, during the season, when we start playing games, okay, we don't practice as much because we're playing games. However, when we're not playing, we're practicing. The travel world should take on the same type of environment, practice. Okay. So, I mean, if I got to wrap this up, I'll just say this. Okay. So, youth baseball player development is a comprehensive process that requires attention to technical skills, physical conditioning, mental toughness, and a supportive environment. And you know what? I didn't even talk about the mental side of the game. Okay. That is something that I would venture to say that almost nobody works on. And that, to me, is probably the most important part of playing the game of baseball. And there's so much stuff that I can't get into it. Otherwise, this video will wind up being 3 hours long. But again, if you are a youth coach, if you are a travel coach, learn how to teach the mental aspects of the game to your players. It will help them in leaps and bounds. Okay, so, you know, again, we'll sum it up. The journey of youth baseball development is about more than just creating future stars. It's about shaping well-rounded individuals who are prepared to succeed on and off the field. And if we don't practice with our players and we send them out there on the weekend to play 3, 4, 5 games in some tournament, okay, they are not learning how to play the game properly. Thanks, everybody. I hope you enjoyed it, and we'll see you on the next one.